I was in the MTC in Provo for 3 weeks, and then I went to Peru for the last 6. I know that's changed now that the Mexico MTC is open, but I got a little bit adjusted while I was in Peru to get kind of a sense of what it's like, hearing Spanish everywhere. But when I got to Ecuador, it was a whole new level because, there weren't 30 missionaries with me all the time. It was just me and my companion. But right when I got there, I remember, they met us at the airport. I think it was the assistant and one of the secretaries. And I was just excited, but so nervous because I was like, I don't know Spanish at all. I barely know the lessons and stuff like that. You just never can feel fully prepared for that next step. And then we had the meeting with the mission president, and I maybe caught like a third of the stuff he was saying. I didn't understand a lot of it, and I was really nervous. I was like really hoping that my companion would at least know some English to be able to communicate, and he didn't really at all. But it was good. It was really tough at the very beginning because of that language barrier. But honestly, that helped a lot because it makes you rely on God so much more because there's just nothing else that you can do. You just have to put it all in His hands. And I feel like that made it easier for me to start on my mission in terms of the dedication and focusing my studies and really focusing all that spiritual aspect into it, because I didn't have the knowledge or the ability to do it on my own. So I needed His help in every way. And I think that really gives it a good kickstart, the mission, because if it came easy in the beginning, I don't think I ever would have necessarily reached that same level of spiritual intensity that I did. So the beginning I thought was probably the biggest and most important part of the mission. It hits you pretty fast, you're the new one, the guy who doesn't know anything. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. You gotta take that humility and realize you can learn from all the missionaries around you. And not just them, also the members and even the people you're teaching. But just try to absorb everything. It's tough because you're working, all day. You get tired and it's hard to focus. But if you can really just take advantage of that time and absorb all the things, everything that's going around you, and be able to adapt quickly, you just become so much of a better instrument in God's hands, so quickly. I know in the beginning it was a struggle for me to study Spanish. I tried to study the scriptures as much as I could, but studying like grammar and stuff like that just kind of felt weird. Even though I know I needed it, I was like, well, I really want to focus on studying the lessons and what I'm going to teach. I didn't want to be like I was in school, studying just the grammar books. But honestly, I wish I had done that more in the beginning, because I learned Spanish and it picked it up pretty quick once I was there, but it didn't come as easy, I don't think, because I didn't study the Spanish books. I just tried to study it through the scriptures and listening, and it worked, but I could have got it faster. And I think that would have made it even better. I would have understood more in the beginning, and I would have learned more from my trainers and things like that. But by the time I really understood what was going on, I'd missed most of my training, at least those first couple weeks. And so I feel like that's pretty important, just focusing in on that, especially even in the MTC. That was a struggle for me. So just banging that out in the beginning, it will help you so much to be able to actually become a good missionary. So that barrier's gone, and then you can just focus on the stuff that you really want.